Here we go, strength trials, file 11, 7 weeks out from our meet in December. Things are looking good, staying healthy and moving in the right direction. We opened up the week with our dynamic effort bench day. I used straight weight. This is the first time I've used straight weight on dynamic effort day. It felt all right. It was a shock to the system. This is 75% of my max, and where do I get that number from? When Louis calls for 50% of real weight and normally 25% accommodating resistance, so I just added that up 75%. It's nothing new. He's mentioned this before, but it was a nice little change up. Definitely feeling that weight in the bottom for that many sets and reps was a different type of fatigue. Followed up with the shoulder saver there for a set of 5 for the lockout. I'm working on a better hand position also, so that bar doesn't sit back in my wrist. Hopefully down the line it'll start to pay off for me. Here's Kyle's heaviest rep day of the week, 475 for 5. He does a good job on reps, probably 1 through 4. 5's a little bit sticky. Obviously he's running out of gas. It's a heavy set of 5. He does a good job though, keeping his back up and grinding through lifts. Kyle is a true grinder. You're going to see later in the week he does a fantastic job of. He had a test day. It was the end of, I believe, his 10-week cycle, and he tested out with a pretty solid squat, and it didn't break for him. If you can see there, he doesn't really break for him. His back might tip a little bit, but he finishes the lift strong, which is nice to see. Here's my dynamic effort day. This is my 3rd and final week of the safety squat bar with green bands on there. This is 385. Definitely a little bit heavier, so I stuck with only 2 reps. Did that classic 8x2, something that's been around for a while with Westside and Conjugate. Normally I've been doing 5x5 or 7x3 or 6x4. I did 8x2 here just to keep the volume around 15 to 16 reps and making sure that weight was moving quick. This was, I think, my best speed pull session to date. I have a micro mini and a mini band on there. It felt good. I mean, the weight felt and moved the way it should. I had good position in the bottom. Back stayed nice and arched, and there was still a lot of pop off the floor. I think, because it's the first week I've been using bands, and I got to make sure that I can drive up through that lift. I don't get tired, and I don't coast. Here's Steve doing something that I love to see. He's working on just a pin pull. He's very explosive with his leg drive in the deadlift. That's why he's so good on deficit pulls or something along that line where he's pulling from a bad position. But when he takes the leg drive out of the deadlift is when he's really going to build his back up, and I think that's his weak point. So I'm happy to see him doing that. Here's Sammy working with 365 on the front squat. It was his first time really front squatting in a while, which is pretty awesome to see. Mixing it up a little bit. Here's my max effort day on the bench. I worked on grip 1 of the football bar, which was really awkward, but it was a nice change up. Kept the weights, lighter than normal, so it was a little bit of a break, but the grind out was hard. The lockout was tough, and just the angle itself. Here's another big accessory that I'm going to be doing the next couple weeks. I haven't really ever done a bent over barbell row, and I tried them in the past, and they just kind of felt weird, but I did them this week with the football bar, and it felt pretty awesome. I felt it in all the right spots, so I think I'm going to continue to do that with that bar. Just up the weight and keep the reps nice and high. Here's our heavy squat day. Steve wanted to work up to a heavy single there at 310. He does a good job. His form broke down a little bit, but he was able to finish the lift strong. I was very impressed by this one. He doesn't really even bend his knees or drop his butt down. He basically RDL'd 405 with 80-pound of chain there, which is good. He's not a sumo puller. He's a conventional guy, and that was a nice heavy overload there for him. Here's Kyle. Kyle had a mock meet day. There's 460 for 1. Like I said, he's tested out. He's been doing this for about 10 weeks now. 500 moved just as good as 460 did. And you're going to see coming up, look at nice smooth form. Knees never caved. And then he walks out 565 here. It's the heaviest it's a PR for him. He was using daily undulating periodization. Just using lighter weights multiple times a week. Keeping the percentages relatively low until that last week they ramped up pretty high. But I mentioned before how he's a very good grinder. Take a look at how he comes out of the hole, and he hits a tough sticking point, but he never breaks down in form. He doesn't really, no knee cave. He shifts a little bit there, but no knee cave. The knees stay out and the back stays arched, and he grinds up to the top of that lift. That was pretty impressive. I'm happy to see him hit a PR. Hopefully he continues to move in the right direction. He said the shirt added about 70 pounds. I don't think it did. Here's my max effort day. It was more of a deadlift focused day. I went to work with the cambered bar here. I have a 160 pound of chain, and I have the bands choked around the bumper plate there. It was definitely a lot of tension up at the top. I've done this in the past with these two forms of accommodating resistance with the safety bar, but this was definitely intense. I worked up to a solid 400 here. That bar is only like 35 pounds, I believe. Moved well. I could have probably put on another 20 to 30 pounds, but I wanted to save it because, as I said before, it's a deadlift focused day. So what I did after this top set, I moved into my deadlifts. I did the same as Steve. I hit a nice PR. This was my previous PR here, 500 for one with 80 pound of chain, and this moved awesome. My form was right on. Knees stayed out, chest stayed up, locked the weight out nice and fast. There was great explosion off the floor. Then I followed it up with a 45 pound PR, and it felt great, man. It felt awesome. Hopefully we continue making progress here, targeting our weak points. 7 weeks out. Hope everybody has a nice week. Stay safe and stay strong.
Get it?